Hi, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. I'm an intuitive ascension-based astrologer, a tarot reader, a Reiki master, and an angelic healer, and I created this channel to help assist people in their awakening journey. We talk a lot about the different planetary energies and how those are influencing our ascension process. And today we're going to be talking about the new moon in Cancer. Now, this is the second new moon in Cancer that we've had. The first new moon in Cancer happened during the solar eclipse back in June. And so on my sister channel, Intuitive Insights, Kayla and I made a video about that, and we called it The Birthing of the New Earth. And we talked about this series of 3 eclipses that was finally anchoring in and ushering in that new Earth, right? And so we're kind of playing off of that energy still. In that video, we talked about how we are a part of Gaia, right? So as Gaia, or the Earth, goes through this ascension process, we go through it too. And so all the things that were happening to her through this series of eclipses were also happening to us. And just as Gaia was reborn as a 5-dimensional planet, right? We were also reborn. And so I'm looking at this time frame from that eclipse, which happened at 0 degrees of Cancer during the last new moon, until this new moon, which happens at 28 degrees of Cancer, as sort of this experience of us like being in the birth canal. So we've been moving through the birth canal for the past month or so, right? And we're getting ready to come out the other end of it, completely reborn as a completely new person. But I mean, when you're born, right, babies aren't born knowing exactly what to do and how to behave in the world. Like, they have to learn that stuff. So we're still going to be trying to find our footing. I see the rest of 2020 as a time period where we're really just kind of like learning how to walk. And it's going to be difficult because we have, especially talking about this new moon that we're having on the 20th. If I didn't give the date, that's the date, 7/20/2020. So, and we'll get into what all that means in a second. Like, we have a lot of cardinal energy going on. We have a lot of cardinal energy and a little bit of mutable energy. So this is a lot of the cardinal signs are the signs that are like the initiators, right? The instigators. And so we're really going to be wanting to move forward. We're going to be in that kind of excited energy. And there's going to be a big part of us, especially with Mars and Aries right now, wanting to move forward and initiate. But we're going to need to call on that mutable energy, allow ourselves to be changeable, allow ourselves to adapt, and really allow ourselves to do what this new moon is asking us to do, which is just sort of allow this reset to happen. You know, we've just been born, we've just come out of the birth canal, we're looking around, and it's okay to kind of rest for a minute. And that's really what this energy is asking us to do. We have the sun and the moon conjunct, as they always are at a new moon, in the sign of Cancer at 28 degrees of Cancer. And so we had the solar eclipse at 0 degrees of Cancer, right? That initiating degree. And then now we're in the final decan, the last couple degrees of Cancer. So that shows that whole process of gestation that we've gone through, right? And, you know, we're about to move now into the next sign, right? But into Leo, which is that energy of like really that charismatic, like putting ourselves out there, being on center stage kind of energy. But right now we're still in the end of Cancer. We've got Mercury in Cancer as well. So it's a highly intuitive, highly emotional energy. It's that energy of the home. It's that nurturing energy. So we're being asked to nurture ourselves and care for ourselves right now. We have a direct opposition going on with Saturn at 28 degrees of Capricorn. And so Saturn is reminding us that we have responsibilities. And really, it's not allowing us to fully take a break. Like, that reminder, that is there. We also have Saturn still in loose conjunction with Jupiter and Pluto, right? So that energy that we've been talking about all through 2020. But we're being asked to look at our responsibilities, where and how we can be responsible, but we're also being invited to take a little bit of a break, take a little bit of a breather. We had, if you guys watch the weekly astrology report, we had a really intense opposition going on between the Sun and Jupiter and Pluto earlier this week. And we talked about that as sort of like an ego death energy, right? Like our consciousness, our will, which is the Sun, right? Really being challenged and broken down. And this energy, like we said, has been going on throughout 2020, but it got really intense this week. And so we may have been in this place of just feeling really anxious, really confused, really irritable, just being challenged to let go of things that we weren't sure if we wanted to or were ready to let go of, and being challenged to step into this new role but not really sure what that looked like or what that was. And so there's been sort of this tug of war going on between our soul and our ego, right? And so the moon comes in and just kind of soothes that energy a little bit and just allows us to take a break, to take a step back, to really be guided by our intuition, to really sink into our emotions, but like in a really comforting way. You know, the cancer energy is that mother energy. It's that nurturing energy. And so I think really what we're being asked to do, as far as what Saturn is asking us to do right now, is to take a look at how we care for ourselves. How do we mother ourselves? How do we balance, right? An opposition is all about coming to balance. So how do we balance self-care? How do we balance home and family with the other responsibilities that are calling to us in the world, with our soul evolution, with our life purpose and where that's asking us to move and asking us to go? Like, how are we going to care for ourselves as we move into the rest of this 2020, as we learn to walk, as we learn to run, right? Like, and it has to happen in stages. And that's another thing that Saturn is telling us. Like, that doesn't happen right away. You know, like, it's a process. And so are you going to allow yourself this process, and how are you going to care for yourself during this process? What we're really doing right now is we're templating our reality moving forward. New moons are a time of setting intentions, of manifesting. And so we're creating that template for what we want our lives to look like moving forward. However, we don't have to take all of the action on that right now. What we need to do is set the intentions, set up the plan, but not like, don't get crazy about it right now, but just really set that. Even you showing how you can take care of you is setting a template. Setting boundaries with people, letting people know, like, no, I'm not available for that today because I need that time to take care of me. Prioritizing things. What are our priorities moving forward? How can we balance those priorities of the things that we must take care of, and then those things that our soul is calling for us to do? Like, we've been in this energy of really merging more deeply with our souls, right? We talked about that during the 7/7 portal on Intuitive Insights. And so this whole soul merging process is going on. I feel as though this new moon is providing us like a window into our souls, and it's really opening up our soul's blueprint for our lives, for our divine path, right? It's that two energy, that repeating two energy. We got the 2020. It's the duality, it's the balance, right? Harmony. It's also the number that represents our soul path and our soul purpose, the 2. And the 0 is the God source number. It just amplifies whatever numbers it's paired with, right? So this amplification of our soul purpose, of our ability to balance, of our ability to find harmony, of our actualization of our soul purpose and our destiny in the world. 2020 has been all about this. And so, yeah, we've been in this process of merging with our souls, and I see this just deepening. I mean, if we look at the numerology for this new moon, the 7 is that highly auspicious spiritual number, right? Everything that we see repeats in these 7s, the 7 days of the week, the 7 chakras, the 7 octaves of music, the 7 rays of light. And we could go on and on with this, right? So it's that highly auspicious spiritual number, and then it's paired with all of those 2s. So I see this almost as a code being written out. And so we're definitely going to be receiving more light codes. We're going to be solidifying the light codes that we have received throughout this whole process of 2020, really solidifying who we are becoming through this process that has rocked us and changed us forever as we've been going through all of the crazy astrology, all of the crazy ascension energies, everything that's been going on throughout 2020. It's like a solidifying of that. And that's what we mean by, or what I mean by us being birthed into the world, like finally being born and coming out as this fresh new person in this fresh new skin that we don't really know how to walk in yet. And so the biggest thing that we need to do is learn how to care for that person that we've become. What resonates with that person that I've become? What doesn't resonate? And just really paying attention to those things. Those things may really be brought to our attention right now, so we want to be paying attention. We have a lot of beautiful inventive energy. We've got all that Cancer energy, so it's super intuitive. We're really getting in touch with our souls. We've got, like we said, Mercury in Cancer, sextiling Uranus, right? And so Uranus is bringing that inspiration, those sparks of inspiration as we start templating our reality moving forward and really making that blueprint for where we want to go. That Uranian energy is very helpful, especially in the grounded sign of Taurus, which is all about what we value, what we find beautiful, right? All of that. So really incorporating that in. We still have a square going on between Mercury and Mars and Chiron. And so that's something to be aware of. Those energies may still be present. We still want to be really careful with understanding when we're projecting the wounds that may be still being brought to the surface onto others and not wanting to do that. We want to be careful with our communication with people. Just really pull in that with Mercury and Cancer right now. It can be really helpful because we can call on that Cancer energy. That's where our minds and our communication style is at. So that will definitely be a boon moving forward if we're able to utilize that when we do interact and talk with other people and sort of communicate. But we're in this amazing process right now of just really anchoring into our light and anchoring into our souls and like kind of, we're crawling, right? We're the babies that have just been born, and yeah, we're evolving fast. We're already crawling, right? And we're kind of looking around and we're just like, whoa, what is this brilliant new world in front of me? And so that's the energy that we really want to be able to tap into and embody during this new moon, and really setting those intentions and watching our thoughts, watching our actions, watching our words, and knowing that we are powerfully creating during this new moon the reality that we want to experience, or we are going to experience moving forward. So let's create a reality that we want, right? And I want to check and see if there was anything else. I think that's most of the energy right there. That's what's the most important for us to understand as we move through this new moon like portal like energy that we're in or going to be in right now. I'm recording this a few days before the new moon. And yeah, I want to actually, these cards want to be played with. So we're going to use the Queen of the Moon Oracle and get a little guidance for this new moon. A little guidance for this new moon in Cancer. And after this, we're going to be moving out of a lot of that super intense oppositional energy with the Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, and all of that. So I know that energy has been really intense for a lot of people. It's all about taking what we've learned from that about ourselves and really applying that moving forward. Applying that to the picture that we're creating for our lives. Applying that to our dreams and our reality. And just really allowing that to integrate. And then we have resilience. So that's that heavy load that we were just talking about, right? That we've been carrying. A lot of people feel as though they've been carrying these heavy burdens, but like you've persevered through that. You've persevered, and I mean, look at all the beautiful roots that are growing, or the plants that are growing out of this, right? It's like you will be rewarded. Your effort will be well worth it. And so it's just like Spirit wants to let you guys know, like, just push on a little bit longer. Just really try to enjoy this journey and find the gratitude where you can find the gratitude, and know that if you feel like you've been carrying these heavy burdens for a really long time, you are going to receive the opportunity to put those down. And honestly, a lot of those burdens you could have put down a long time ago because they weren't yours to carry in the first place. And that's something that we're realizing as well, like what's ours to carry and what's not, and just really releasing that which isn't serving us anymore. That's what this whole year has been asking us to do. And so it's releasing our attachment to the old stories, releasing our attachment for some people to the need to feel like this. It's like we get so used to feeling like we have the world on our shoulders that we don't know what to do if we don't, right? Because we become accustomed to that, and it makes us feel important. And so it's realizing that we don't need that anymore. Like we can create a reality for ourselves. It's knowing that we're worthy of it, knowing that we're worthy enough. We don't have to feel important because we are important. We don't have to take all of this on to make other people happy, right? Cancer is that maternal energy. It's that mothering energy. But it's like we're being asked to mother ourselves right now, and to really look at where we over-mother other people and how we can step back and let them have their own journey while continuing on our own. So that may be some of those burdens that some of you have been carrying. And it's just, Yeah, let those go. Put those down. Boundaries is on the bottom of the deck. Create those healthy boundaries. Create that energetic boundary for yourself. We talk about this all the time, like creating that energetic boundary. And so I had a reading with a friend of mine. She has a channel, look it up, it's Miria. She does incredible readings. She's so amazing. And so we talked about this, and like after we had that discussion, like I give people this guidance all the time because it really works for me. Ask your angels and your guides to create an impenetrable shield around your energy field. And so, and by impenetrable, nothing can get through this sucker, all right? And they will do that. And that helps us to be in our own energy without all of those outer energies interfering. Because with all of the anxiety and all of the fear and everything going on in the collective right now, it can be really overwhelming when we're picking up on those outside energies. So really set that energetic boundary. Set boundaries with how you spend your energy. Every time that you think about someone excessively, anytime that you interact with someone, even if it's like over the phone, right, or through the internet, you're giving them energy. You're feeding off of each other's energy, right? And so, like, how much energy are you giving? Who are you giving that energy to? And where can you take that energy back? How much of that is adding to this burden that you feel as though you're carrying? And how can you dial that back? How can you set those boundaries like we were talking about with your time as well, and where you're spending your time and who you're spending that time on, and really dedicating some more of that time to yourself as well. So that's coming up, and then blossoming. And we're going to see any more guidance. We have number 22, right? Perfect. Wisdom. And then we have gratitude and growth. Wisdom, gratitude, and growth. That's perfect. So through this intense meeting of Pluto and Jupiter and Saturn and everything else that's been going on throughout 2020, we've gained a lot of wisdom. We're gaining wisdom every day. Right now, during this new moon, we can tap into the wisdom of our soul, because our soul is really speaking to us. Right? It's that 7/20/2020 energy, right? So our soul is speaking to us. Our soul is wanting to merge with us. It's wanting to help us figure out how we can forge this path forward and how we can live a life that's in alignment with where we want to go now that we've experienced all of this growth and become someone new. Like, where am I trying to go and how can I get there? Like, ask your soul. Your soul has the answers for you. And your soul can answer in a whole bunch of different ways. You might get an intuitive hit or a gut feeling. People might come up to you and start talking to you about stuff. You may receive offers to go places, new job offers. You may meet new friends, right? You may see synchronicities, hear different songs. Like, your soul will speak to you in 100 different ways. All you have to do is become open to hearing what your soul has to say, right? And just gaining this, as we merge with our souls more and more, our thoughts and our desires become our soul's thoughts and our desires. And so we become more capable of trusting our own minds as well, because we're not being led and guided by our ego. Like, we go from that first thought that comes from the ego that then we have to reevaluate, to that first thought coming from the soul, and just being able to trust that and knowing and being able to feel when that communication's coming through. And so that's what we're moving into as well. So that's some of that wisdom that we're developing. And gratitude. Just, they want us to remain in a state of gratitude. Be grateful for the things that we have. Like, that gratitude brings more blessings, right? So no matter what's going on, no matter what these burdens are that may be weighing you down, right? That you are fully capable of putting down, there will be a solution if you open yourself up to receiving it. Like, just stay grateful. Just stay grateful for this journey and all of the wisdom and all of the growth that it provided for you, right? And find all of the hidden blessings. Find all of the hidden blessings in everything. And just one of the simple, easy, like, things that is almost so easy that we discount it sometimes, that we can do to get ourselves back into a state of bliss, is to write a gratitude list. sometimes it's difficult. If we're going through really challenging circumstances, it can be difficult to figure out what we're grateful for. So it can be things as simple as like, I'm grateful that I'm breathing. I'm grateful that I'm able to walk and utilize all my limbs. That I have a roof over my head, that I'm not starving and wondering where my next meal is going to come from tonight. Like, it can be as simple as that, or it can be as brilliant as you want it to be. And I'm getting the message now. Write a gratitude list also for the things that you're wanting to manifest into your life. Thank you for this incredible job where I blah, 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 blah. Thank you for this incredible partner. Thank you for this sense of self-love that just wells up within me. Thank you for all of these amazing opportunities, and list out the things. Thank you for my new car. Thank you for my increasing intuition and insight. Thank the universe for the things that are coming to you, that are actually yours, once you get yourself into the frequency and vibration where you're able to receive them. And gratitude is how you do that. So that could be a really fun, helpful exercise of a different kind of way to set intentions for this new moon. So I really like that. And then we have protection. You are protected. This is like the baby, right? Like we were talking about, that is just being birthed, right? Just coming out of the womb. And you are so protected and you are so guided. And I'm feeling this bird as like your ancestors, those who have passed on maybe. There's just so many people who are kind of carrying you and protecting you that you may not even be aware of in the non-physical. And there may be support for you in the physical that you haven't been able to see yet, or that you haven't been able to trust, or that's getting ready to come through as well in this next wave of your journey. So that's pretty cool. I like that. All right. And now, yes, we'll do a mystical shaman oracle card. Some more guidance for the new moon in Cancer. Let's get a mystical shaman card. New moon in Cancer. Oh, too many. We're just going to go with the ones that came out. So we have the drum, Taming the Wind, and then on the bottom of the deck we have the Council. So immediately when I get so we got 15, 55, and 11, which is pretty cool. And immediately whenever I see the Council card, I think of like the Council of Light, right? And all of these light codes and all of this knowledge that's pouring into us right now, and all of the assistance that they're providing us. I feel like they're going to be very active during this new moon, providing us with that assistance that we need moving forward, providing us with those light codes, really anchoring that in for us. And so let's see what the drum has to say. The rhythm of the drum tunes you to the beating heart of the universe. Its wood frame links you to the trees and helps you journey to the lower world via the roots and the upper world through its branches. The connection of the higher and the lower, right? And so this is also making me think of the upper chakras and the lower chakras and the connection in the heart center. The drum skin gives the shaman the powers of the animal kingdom. Striking the drum calls forth the power of the thunder and the rumbling of the earthquake. The drum invites a trance state where healing and prophecy happen. The drum invites you to take the next bold step in your journey. The forces of heaven and earth are aligned behind you, supporting effortless action. This is not a time to push against the river. The current will take you exactly where you want to go once you jump in. Collect your power tools and summon your courage, because it is going to be a wild and glorious journey. Allow yourself to be carried by the rhythm of what is really essential in your life. Yes, so this is just what we were talking about, right? That balance of responsibilities that Saturn is calling us to take. Like, what is essential in my life moving forward? And how do I balance that with the care for myself? How do I balance that with my family? How do I balance home responsibility with outer responsibilities? How do I really fine tune what's important to me and focus on that moving forward? And how do I write that? How do I map out that course for my life and where I'm ready to go? Right? where I'm ready to go, and through, trance journey, all that different stuff may be helpful for some of you guys. Some of you guys may want to try that. Sometimes I listen to like shamanic drumming meditations when I meditate, and those can take me to some pretty cool places. Like, it's just so magical. If you don't have access to that in real life, then like going there through listening to videos and music of that it's just so beautiful. So beautiful. And it's just like there's so much creation going on in this card. Just so much creation and so much infinite possibility. And the disc, this is reminding me of like a pentacle right now, right? So all of that earthly manifestation that's going on. Yeah, you're so supported. The forces of heaven and earth are aligned behind you. And so this is about like we talked about at the beginning of this video, right? Taking the steps that you're guided to take, but also surrendering and allowing your soul to guide you, allowing spirit to get you where you're trying to go. Like, this isn't a time to be forcing things, forcing our will on situations. This is a time to be really prioritizing, realizing what's important to us, and then moving forward by that with the support of spirit and our own intuition, leading us and guiding us and telling us when and how to act. And if it's not telling us when and how to act, then just don't do anything. Inaction is an action, and sometimes inaction is a really powerful and profound action, and it is absolutely what is necessary at that time. And so then we have Taming the Wind. This is the symbol, the feather we're talking about. This is a symbol of consciously bringing the spiritual into the material, infusing the world with reverence and an acknowledgement of the higher planes of existence that influence and animate all life. The feather is a symbolic reminder of deliberately entering into a partnership with the Great Spirit to co-create for the highest good of all. This is what we're doing right now. We're co-creating with our souls, which is really, really beautiful and really profound. And we're merging, right? Like we have the spiritual world, which is represented right now by the sun and the moon in Cancer, in that intuitive energy, right? That soul energy. And then we have the material world, which is represented by Saturn and Capricorn, and that opposition and that balance that we're being asked to acquire when we can merge those two and bring those two together and have them work together in harmony, right? Like, I think for a lot of us, it's sort of this struggle between, like, we talk about the 3D and the 5D and having to come back into the third dimension and how stressful it is to have to deal with those responsibilities and all of that day-to-day life stuff when we're on this journey of spiritual evolution, right? But the physical is spiritual. That's what I've been guided to learn a lot, really guided to learn lately, is how important it is to know that we are in these physical bodies for a reason. We are incarnated in this physical reality, and it's in one sense it's not real, but in another sense it is real. Like, when we go and we meditate and we astral travel, we say that was real because I went there. I was there in my mind, right? So we have to turn that around to this. Like, right now, as I'm sitting here talking to you, this is real because this is where my consciousness is at. So nothing is really an illusion, or maybe everything is an illusion, right? Not just this reality, but everything. So when our consciousness is here, be here. Be rooted into this existence. Our journey is to merge that spirituality with this physical incarnation and express each of them, right? Until we're not just expressing one or another. It's not like, oh, I'm in the third dimension because I'm doing my taxes, and oh, I'm in the fifth dimension because I'm meditating right now. It's like, it's all one, right? Just as we are all one. So it's that process that we're learning how to do, how to merge those things, and how to co-create that reality with our souls, that experience, how to bring that spiritual experience into our earth experience, and how to walk in that energy and be in that energy. Yeah. And so it's time to clear your energy, be present, and become conscious of how you communicate, like we were also talking about, right? This is a good time to write in a journal and put your thoughts into a cohesive form, which we were also talking about, right, with the gratitude lists and all of that. And anything else, like automatic writing is always a beautiful way to get more in touch with our souls. Like, write out some questions to your soul and then kind of just keep writing and see if your soul answers back, right? Like, that could be really fun, I think. Perhaps you actually need to do a smudging ceremony in your home or office, creating a sacred space to write about your dreams and desires. Just remember that when Taming the Wind appears as a symbol, it is time to honor the Great Spirit with reverence and respect. Here we go. And then we have the Council. The Council are the luminous beings who hold the collective wisdom of humanity. They are the ones before whom you will do your life review when you cross into the world of spirits. A life review is when we place our good and our bad deeds on a divine scale. What is good and bad, right? I would do quotation marks if I had free hands. An attempt to explain why we did not love or forgive or dare as greatly as we might have. Know that there is wisdom available to you at all times when you live in a state of yes, in an unconditional relationship with life. They remind you of your place around a sacred fire, which has been reserved for you since the beginning of time. You will claim it with your own when you own your inner wisdom. The Council has a message for you. Listen with your inner senses, right? I love how this is tying everything together perfectly from this reading. The handwriting is already on the wall, so look about you and you will discern its meaning. Do not wait for further signs. Embark on the journey to love deeply, forgive sincerely, and dare greatly. Take the leap without requiring life to assure you of success. Right? We're never going to know for sure how things are going to work out. Like, we have to take that leap. We talk about this all the time, right? I take one step and spirit takes 10, but I have to take that first step first. And this is also that energy, that protected energy that we saw in the last set of cards, right? We are protected, we are supported, we are loved. And when they're talking about the life review and all of that, it's not that we're being judged. It's where we are learning and we're seeing and we're understanding, right? It's not like we have someone to answer to who's like, well, why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do this better? It's not that kind of an energy. So that part, the way it said that, like, it had a bit of a feeling to that. So I just wanted to clarify that. It's not that at all, but it is that in every moment we have the opportunity to love. We have the opportunity to forgive, right? We have the opportunity to take that chance, to take that leap and see where that takes us, and just trust and know that if we were divinely guided to take it, it's going to take us somewhere beautiful. And so that's what we're being reminded of. Like, that's the only reminder we get. We're not going to get it's not going to get more clear than that message right there, you know, because spirit, that's part of that trust. That's how we build faith. That's how we build confidence, right? Like the Mars and Aries energy. How we do that is by taking that chance, taking that leap. We're really being called to do that. We've been called to do that throughout this year, and the second half of 2020 is really seriously going to be calling us to do that, to take that risk, to take that leap, and just see where it takes us and trust that it's taking us into closer resonance and closer harmony with our souls. So that's going to conclude this video for today. If you like this video, definitely give it a like. If you haven't subscribed and you want to catch more videos, hit the subscribe button. If you click the bell with the little squigglies next to it, you'll get notifications when I put out new videos. There's a link down below to donate to my channel if you so feel called to do so. It really helps to support all this free content that I love making for you guys. I also offer a whole variety of services, so check those out. I do energy healings, I do readings, I do astrology ascension readings, I do a whole bunch of different things and different combinations of things. However and whatever suits you best and where you're at in your journey right now, and what is going to facilitate you in continuing to grow into the most glorious version of yourself that your soul is inviting you to become. So until next time, happy new moon, you all, and I will talk to you soon.